Hello everyone and welcome back. In this video, I'm going to talk to you about what I call parents' responsibility. So one of the videos I did just a few days ago talked about what options a family has when it comes to helping somebody, dealing with somebody in the family who has been suffering for years and years and years with a behavioral health issue, drug use, mental illness, things of that nature. And typically when a family comes to us, this has been going on for years and years and years. And maybe their loved one has been in and out of treatment, multiple treatment centers. Maybe they've been arrested. Maybe they've had an overdose. Maybe they don't want to take their medications. Maybe the family's been to court and for whatever reason, things didn't work out. And I said, well, okay, here's an option. I mean, you can do nothing. Like any disease, it will probably ultimately destroy the host and your family, by the way. Or you can take action, right? Marchman Act, guardianship, and sometimes even the Baker Act. And, I know I put out a lot of content about the Baker Act, but when it's done right, it's a life-saving tool. And we will use it sometimes when we need an immediate response, right? Immediate interaction, with this person to get them in a place of safety. Or you can let the state do it. The state will happily do it, either through the criminal system or through the mental health system. And so in the last video I put out a couple of days ago, we had a situation where somebody in the family, an adult child, had been sick for a long time, and the family, for whatever reason, and look, this is no judgment zone here. I'm not telling you what you should and shouldn't do. I'm giving you my opinion. But in this particular case, the family didn't take action. And eventually what happened was, which happens quite often, this individual got arrested. And now they're looking down the barrel at, I think it's 3 serious felonies, and based on what I know, and I was a former prosecutor and I did defense work, this person is almost certainly going to go to prison. Not the county jail, I'm talking about the state penitentiary. They're going to go to prison. And so that's one way the state can grab you, and that's what's happened here. And I think this person is going to get locked up between 3 to 5 years, maybe even a bit longer. But the other option, the other way the state can grab you, is through the mental health system. And, we've had a lot of calls from families where, somebody got Baker Acted, and it happened multiple times, over and over and over again. And we said to the family, look, at some point, you're not going to get your loved one back. They're just going to keep them. And so, this particular instance, the family called us. Their loved one was Baker Acted, I think for the 4th or 5th time. And on prior occasions, they'd been held for a week and 2 weeks, and I think on one occasion, maybe even 30 days. And I said, you're just not going to get them back at some point. Well, wouldn't you know it? Here's what happened. The state filed a petition, not just for placement, but placement in a state hospital. And there was a hearing that the parents were not invited to. In fact, they didn't even find out about the court order until after the fact. And their loved one got sent to a state hospital. And I'm going to tell you, I've had calls from state hospitals. My team has had calls from state hospitals. You cannot believe the abuse that goes on in these places. I'm telling you, it's shocking that we could actually, that in the state of Florida in 2025, that we could be treating people this badly. But that's what's going on. And remember, as I've told you about before in the Baker Act, there's no oversight. Nobody's watching, right? So this person has been sent to the state hospital up to 6 months. There's going to be a review at some point in front of a judge. But, what do you think happens to people in state hospitals? They get worse, not better. And so, look, I'm a step parent. I got 2 adult stepchildren, 26 and 28. They're amazing. But I can tell you, over the years, and I'm going into the 32nd year of practicing law. My wife is going to be 34 years practicing law. And the last 10 years, I've done nothing but speak to families like yours who have a loved one who's got a long history of, drug use and mental illness and things of that nature. And it is heartbreaking for me to speak to these families. But I'm on a mission here to save as many families as I can. And I'm telling you that at some point, the family, whoever that happens to be, mom and dad, grandparents, whoever it happens to be, has to step up and make the commitment to save their loved one. It's just the way it works. And again, I'm just one guy sitting here telling you what I see. You don't have to take my advice. This is a no judgment zone. If you call our office and you decide you don't want to do this or take legal action, fine. That's entirely up to you. I get it. And some families call us they're just done. Maybe they had a bad experience with another lawyer. That's fine. Or maybe, a myriad of reasons that we're not going to go into here. But the point is, at some point, if you don't step up and do what needs to be done and make the commitment to save your loved one, these are the just disastrous things that can happen. And it's just based on speaking to thousands of families, and we've worked with hundreds of them and gotten great results. So I want to share that with you. I hope it's okay to be honest with you. Because honestly, I don't know any other way. I got to tell you the truth, how it works and how it doesn't work. So I appreciate you tuning in. I'd love a thumbs up. Please subscribe to our channel. And by the way, if you have a comment or a question, post it. I read all of these things, and I try to respond to everybody that posts things. So anyway, with that said, take care. Have a good day. See you in the next video. Bye-bye.